Tonight's show is sponsored by Queen Bee Cleaning Company. Queen Bee Cleaning Company services Wayne County and the surrounding areas within a 1-hour radius. Their services include residential cleaning, commercial cleanings, post-construction cleanups, move-ins and move-outs. Yes, they do the packing and cleaning for you. Real estate cleanings, deep cleans, event cleanups, window cleaning, interior, exterior, and screens, junk removal, and boat detailing. Yes, you heard that right, boat detailing. You can hire them weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, one-time jobs as needed. It doesn't matter. They offer all natural cleaning options as well using chemical-safe products. All estimates are free. When you need to find a cleaning company, think Queen Bee, because when your environment is clean, you feel happy, motivated, and healthy. To contact them for all of your cleaning needs, call 570-229-3959 or email them at qbcleaningcompany@gmail.com.
All right, y'all, it's the Nonsense and Deep Thoughts Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the NDT Podcast. I'm your host, Corey. Tonight, we are without Justin. We are without Aaron. And it's all right because they had a fantastic day in New York City attending FanFest, getting to do all sorts of fun things. I'm sure you guys will hear about it throughout the week. Super exciting. I won't take too much time getting into tonight's guest. We have a very special guest with us tonight. Her name is Allyson Hicks. When she reached out to me, I was super excited to talk to her. I am very much looking forward to this episode, hearing her incredible story of her last year of her life. She's had a lot going on. I hope you guys are ready to hear from me. I'm already distracted by Justin. Hey, fuck you, Corey. Sorry, guys. We are rated R. Sometimes we cuss. We're going to keep it to a very minimum tonight because I know there are a lot of you who are here specifically for Allyson and to hear what she has to say. So without further ado, Jared, let's bring in Allyson.
In the quiet of the night, we gather around the light, sharing stories of the fight, finding hope in every sight. With Allyson in the chair, we listen and we care. Her journey through the dark, a flame we'll always share. One voice, one heart, united from the start. Tonight we sail across the fears. With Allyson strength we'll dry our tears. In every word a miracle shines, together strong through starlit lines. In a world where shadows creep, she fell into the deep. A battle fought with grace, with faith that runs so steep. One signs to light the way for every child and pray. Her message crystal clear, will keep the doubts at bay.
That was so sweet.
Jared has been having a lot of fun lately, guys.
Thanks, Jared.
We've done a lot of goofy things with AI music, but I tell you what, man, Jared is really good at doing the sweet stuff with it too.
Aww.
So we hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was a nice welcome into the show.
Yeah.
Allyson, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. It's been a quick weekend, man. I tell you that much.
Yes.
It's been a quick weekend, and I'm not looking forward to going back to work, but I'm happy we're here. I'm happy we're finally having this episode. It seems like it's been forever to get to it.
Yeah, I know, right? But it kind of flew by at the same time. But
Yeah, it was nice
I'm
to
ex-
hear from you and to hear that you wanted to come on and share your story, because it had been quite a while since we got to chat as it is. Um,
Mhm.
I'm kind of sad that this is how we start our interaction, but I'm glad to hear your story. You know,
Yeah.
after all these years, to get to talk to you again is really exciting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been following, I feel like I've seen you on Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
we've been following each other's lives, but like since YMCA day camp, we haven't really caught up too much. So,
Life moves fast, man. That's just it's just
but
what happens. I mean, I always say that social media and technology is going to be our downfall, but it does have its positives to it as well. And this is one of
absolutely.
them, getting to keep up with people that you've known for quite a while and
For
getting to see
sure.
them grow. Like I said to you before the show, getting to see all the kids that I had at YMCA camp as a counselor. And now I see all you guys growing up. I see you starting your own families. I see you guys thriving and
Mhm.
doing well in life. And that makes me feel good. It also makes me feel a little bit old.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit old. But it's all
Well,
right.
I feel old, so if I feel old, then you probably feel old.
You know, man, when I was a kid, I always thought my parents were crazy when they're like, "Oh, my life moves fast. You know, I better enjoy it
Mm,
while it lasts." They weren't kidding, man. I get it now. I get it now. So,
yeah.
all right, the floor is yours, Allyson. I know you
Okay.
want to talk about everything that you've endured in the last year. So why don't we start from the beginning and tell us what what happened, what were the signs, and how did you get the diagnosis?
Okay. So it was just a normal day. I had work. I was bartending that night and I had this weird pain like under my ribs. It was a pain that I've never felt before. It wasn't like something that I thought was just going to go away. I really felt like I needed, to get it checked out. So I went to urgent care in Hamlin and they said it's going to be a 3 to 4 hour wait. And I'm like, I have to go to work. Like, I'm going to go to the ER. So I went to the ER and thank goodness I did, because as soon as my blood work came back, they knew something was wrong. Um, so when the doctor came in, he said that my blood markers were a little off and they were going to do a blood smear, which is like just a deeper like blood test, I guess. And that came back within an hour and they were already on the phone with Geisinger getting me ready to be transferred to Geisinger because Wayne Memorial wanted to hand me off to an oncologist at that point. Without saying you have cancer. They never said any of that to me. They just said you need to go to see a hematologist.
Like they knew it was something deeper, they just weren't certain.
Yeah. So, I'm freaking out because
Yeah.
like I'm Googling, I'm, calling my mom, I'm calling my fiance and like, cause I'm in the ER. And at that point, like, I think I was by myself. So, I was just freaking out. So they were like, we're going to transfer you. So I got transferred to Geisinger. And it was a weekend. So oncologists don't work on weekends. So
Yeah.
they had told me that all of my blood work came back and that I had leukemia, but they couldn't go into detail with it until the oncologist got there on Monday. So I pretty much spent the weekend in the hospital, just kind of really scared and nervous and not knowing what my future is going to be. And the oncologist came in and I don't know if he was trying to be funny or have some sort of joke. I don't know, lighten the mood a little. And he was telling me how like one time he was Googling and he thought that he had cancer, but he didn't.
Mhm.
That's what he said to me.
That was the joke.
Yes. And he was I'm not kidding. And he was like, that's why Google is not good. He's like, but in this case, you do. It was the craziest thing I've ever gone. Like, it was.
That's like dangling something good in front of you and then yanking it away. Like,
Terrible.
oh my God.
My heart breaks, like, thinking about it again, you know, like it's just scary how, like, desensitized, like, everything. It was just like, I don't know, maybe it's just something they don't learn. Maybe that's just part of, you know, sometimes you just don't have that, like,
the bedside manner.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of get it because they deal with this kind of thing on a daily basis, and they, you know, but you kind of hope that they have a little more of a human connection.
Oh my gosh. I didn't really have much hope at that point, but it did change when I got to UPenn, thank God. I'll get into that, but the staff there is just absolutely amazing. So that Monday, I had the oncologist, the hematologist come in. He told me that. And then by Tuesday, I was at UPenn. My mom had a friend that she worked with that currently goes to UPenn for treatment. And she said to my mom, like, you need to call them and get her in. And I literally, I don't know where I would be if I did not go to UPenn, because they started me on my really aggressive chemo immediately, because, like, it's the type of leukemia I had is very aggressive. And Geisinger was just, not to throw out names, but, like, they were just waiting around, and it was just like, it just didn't seem very urgent to them. You know what I mean?
Really?
So UPenn really got in there and started me. I got in there and I got my PICC line put in right in the room, and I started my chemo.
Oh my God.
So I was diagnosed with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, Philadelphia chromosome positive. So what that means is it's like a specific gene marker in my blood is this Philadelphia chromosome. And it was actually, this was founded in Philadelphia. This chromosome was by a bunch of scientists, and that's the kind that I had, which they say that there's no way to cure it without the stem cell transplant. So if you don't have the Philadelphia marker in your blood, then there is a chance that you could go through chemo and not have to do the transplant and possibly not relapse. But with my marker, I had to get the stem cell transplant.
That's something to note, to keep in mind for those listening.
Yes. So at that point, I was diagnosed. I had O positive blood, and I had the ALL, which is mutant blood. They're just attacking each other. So at this point, I'm at UPenn, and I will be inpatient. I pretty much moved in with my mom. She stayed with me during the week and was my just everything. Like,
that's awesome.
Took my notes for me, like all of these big giant medical terms that we have no idea. Like, my grandmother had cancer, and that was like the first time we really had cancer in our family. And when you don't know, like, the amount of stuff just thrown at you, like, you have no idea what any of this means. And you probably know that, like, you know, from being in the NICU, like, like, it's just, you know, crazy stuff. So to have her there, and like to have her like be taking notes and like making sure that everything is like going good, it was a blessing. And then she would go home on the weekends and take over taking care of my son, and then my fiance would come spend the weekends with me in the hospital, and then they would switch again. So I had a really good support system there.
That's
And
amazing.
here I had my family and friends and people dropping meals off, and it was a blessing. It was nice not having to worry too much. Of course, you're always gonna worry, but when you're getting all of these treatments in the hospital, you don't really want to be thinking about if your 3-year-old is, here he is.
You don't want to worry about if they're getting fed, if they've got everything they need at home.
Exactly.
Yeah, having that support system. I mean, there's not enough that could be said about that. Like we had the same situation last year, and without the support system, we didn't know how we would have been able to do what we had to do.
Exactly.
So having your mom there for the week is amazing. Like having her be able to sacrifice and be there and just be there for you so that none of you had to worry about anything. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was like, even just putting ice in my water and sorry.
It's okay. We love special guests. It's all right.
So it's okay. So she was also like my cleaning lady, she would clean my room and change my sheets and my pillowcases and all that fun stuff. So it was really good to have her there. Okay, so let's see, where am I at?
That one photo that Jared used in that video that he played for you, where you're giving the thumbs up, you got the football field behind you. Is that UPenn?
Yeah. So
that's really cool.
Okay, so when you go to the hospital, there's like two sides. There's campus view and city view. So my first view I had was campus view. So like I was 13th floor and I could see the UPenn football stadium. They had like their really big like flag football tournament, and I watched their practices from like sunrise to sunset. It was really cool. It was like a nice view. And then when I got the city view, it wasn't really as nice, but at least like, I don't know, the colors were nice. And right there.
I love that photo. I gotta tell you, I love the photo because like it's just beaming with positivity. Like you're just ready to fight and you're ready to go.
Yeah, that was the first day. Like I was ready to get it over with, Yeah.
And it was really nice seeing the hashtag Ally Strong go around within our own little community. Yeah. Everyone's supporting you and helping to push you fight.
Social media was amazing to me, like for this, and the amount of people it reached. I mean, I don't know where I would be without all of the support that I had. Yeah. Especially my fundraisers.
So what can you tell us about that pain that you felt under your ribs that screamed to you, this is different? This isn't a normal tweak. This isn't something that you're going to get over in a day or two by stretching it out. Like what made you think this is something, there's something really wrong here?
I especially when I would eat or drink, like I just felt so extremely full, like that, like I could just barely move. Like even just breathing was rough. So like my spleen was just so enlarged that it was causing this pressure. And like that was the pain that I was feeling.
Gotcha.
So
was it, you say when you ate, you felt like so full, like, was it almost like a bloat feeling? Like you were really super bloated?
But like high under your ribs. So it was like, I don't know, it was scary, cause like it definitely affected your breathing and all of that, It felt like I had like a giant tumor inside, like under my ribs. But it was just my spleen.
Just your organs, no big deal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now you're at UPenn. You started your treatments. They got on that right away. You spoke about how your family was there for you. Your mom and your fiance would swap out on the weekends. Where did you go from there? Like how long were you in the hospital for? How long was your hospital stay?
So it would be like 3 weeks usually. So I would get my chemo, and then I would have to wait for my counts to completely drop, and then I'd have to wait for my counts to come all the way back up, and then I could go home. And then it would just start all over again. And so it was just a continuous cycle of like 3 weeks on, 2 weeks off type of deal for like about 6 months. So I would have chemotherapy orally every day, through my IV, and intrathecally through my my spine. So that's when they would go through with the lumbar puncture and take a needle, put it into my spine, pull some of my marrow out, and then put chemo back in its place. And this chemo was like bright yellow. It was like disgusting. It's like literally, obviously, essentially poison.
Pouring Mountain Dew back into you. That's all.
Literally, that's what it looked like. It looked like Mountain Dew.
So crazy. Like I thought the epidural when women are pregnant was crazy. Like I couldn't imagine.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they do this bedside, you know, like in my room. Like I would just be sitting on my hospital bed. They would bring my little tray that you eat off of, put it in front of you, grab your pillow, lay your pillow down, and my mom would sit there and hold my hands, and I would bend over like this, and they would do it. And they would miss more than they would get it. So, I mean, the amount of times that they miss and just have to start over again, it was insane. Luckily, like, I shouldn't say luckily, but I mean, so, you know, it's mostly a childhood cancer. The children get put to sleep.
Yeah.
We don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who gets to choose who gets to be tortured? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Got to be lighthearted about it. Oh God.
Yeah. So, that's not fair, but I made it through. Just got a couple scars on my back.
So let me ask, how strong was mom during that? Because I know watching my wife in different situations with our kids, like our son was in the hospital at 2 years old for God, I can't remember, one of the breathing things, and he had to get an IV put in him, and she bawled her eyes out for that. So I know how moms are. How strong was your mom during that?
She was so strong. Oh my gosh. She had to be for both of us, you know, and it really was. She was strong. I mean, this girl would cringe at me pulling my tooth out when I was a kid. So like her being in there for these things was huge. It was huge. And I really appreciated that. I'd put my little playlist on and we would just breathe.
Yeah. Because it's really hard for a parent to watch their child in pain. I know that's one of the most difficult things in the world as a parent. So for her to sit there with you and be strong for you, to in turn give you strength, I think she definitely needs to be commended for that. That's incredible.
Absolutely. She's awesome.
I wouldn't have it any other way. There she is.
Yep.
That's awesome. Man. Alex, my wife, says Eli's IV was nothing compared to the whole meal experience. True.
Yeah.
All right. So where did you go from there?
So at this point, like I'm just trying to make it through minute by minute, like not even day by day at this point, because I can barely get through a minute without losing my mind. I don't know what to do. I have all these things like people sent me so many gifts to
That's
my
awesome.
room. It was amazing. Like, I had stuff to paint, I had stuff to make bracelets, I had stuff, to do fun stuff, but like, do you really feel like doing that stuff? No, of course not. Like, I felt like crap. But
Yeah.
I tried to do something that would at least give me a little bit of joy every day. Something, anything, like even if that was just us ordering milkshakes and watching a movie. And maybe I couldn't even drink the milkshake, but like we tried, and
Yeah.
my mom would literally get me anything. If I wanted a baguette from Paris, she probably would have flown me in one. Like, like she was
That's
walking
awesome.
around Philly, like getting me whatever I wanted. But at this point, I'm just trying to make it through, and she's trying to keep me happy, and I'm trying to stay sane, while kind of going through all of these like weird symptoms, that are new to me, and losing my hair. And that was a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
I tried to keep it for as long as I could, but it didn't work. Everyone's like, they tell you to try all these things like cold caps and certain medicines, and I mean, I still lost it, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot worse things that could happen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
You come to that conclusion, like, it's fine. It's growing back
Yep.
now, but it's just
It
the
looks
little
awesome.
things. Thanks.
Like, look at the curls, man. Look at those curls.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, my mother had the same deal, man. Like she had like straight hair, and when it grew back after when she lost her hair, it was the same deal. Got really curly on her.
Really?
Mhm.
Did the color change?
Yeah, it went from like a darker brown to more of like a reddish brown. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, I'm definitely gray, but
Listen, man, there ain't nothing to worry about. I've gotten more gray
yeah,
as the years go too. Wear
yeah,
it with
whatever.
pride. At this point, it's like a medal of honor. Just wear it with pride.
At this point, my entire body is, and that's what I say. Like, my body just fought the craziest fucking battle ever.
You're good.
And I will wear and do whatever I want, and that's how I feel.
Yes.
Like, I feel like, I don't know.
Yep.
There's just something. Yeah, it's just something that it's just a new sense of confidence that I have with myself. I feel badass.
Yeah. There you go. I like it. Listen, things could always be worse. I mean, you got to appreciate the little things in life. You got to wake up every day, you count your blessings, and just roll with the punches, man. You just appreciate things and don't worry about things that you cannot control.
Thank you, old man.
No.
You're very welcome, Jared. And Maggie's right. You are a badass. So how long did it take before you noticed that things were starting to turn around? You started to feel a little bit better.
I would say the moment that they tell me you're being discharged to go home and see Benjamin is the minute my attitude would change. And I know that's so hard. And I did try to have a positive attitude most of the time, but I kind of was just getting by, but I tried to bring happiness to other people. I made like all my nurses bracelets and like the receptionists, and like, I just tried to be really kind and happy and like be nice to everyone else, because that's all I wanted to bring out in me, if that makes any sense. Like, I just felt like me sitting there and being sad. What is that going to do? Like, I'm just I'm still going to be behind these walls sad, so I might as well try to like stay positive, you know? So I think that especially when they said, you know, you're going to be discharged today or tomorrow, I started feeling good. But I think when they said you got a match for your bone marrow transplant, that's when I was like, holy crap, this is happening.
One of those take your breath away moments.
Yeah, like, because it's been a waiting game, you know, like we're kind of like just waiting, like I'm like on this treadmill, just like walking, like waiting, like where am I going? I don't know. We're just gonna like see, like, and then randomly one day it's just gonna happen, and it did. But they tested my brother first, so normally that's what they would do. They would take your siblings as long as they're under 40, and they would test them because they have the most chance of being a match. My brother was only a half match, and this stranger in Germany is a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
100% match. I don't know why that makes any sense, but so my doctors went back and forth for a while. I have a bunch of doctors over there, but my oncologist and my bone marrow transplant doctor, they work together all the time. Still do. I literally talk to them like multiple times a week. They're amazing, but they went back and forth on the idea because technically I could have still gotten the transplant from my brother, but it would have had more of a chance of me to reject it.
Yeah.
So they decided to go with the 20-year-old male from Germany. I got his cells and I got his blood type now. And hopefully I got his really good immune system. We're going to test that out this winter. And they flew them in. So this kid was on the registry, and over in Germany, it is like a normal thing, just like American Red Cross is here. Like bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplant, which are the same thing. It's huge. You just get on the registry. It's a normal thing, and it should be here too, because there are so many people waiting for this transplant, and it's something so easy, so painless, really, for the person who is giving the donation. Now, sometimes they do take the donation from the back, but my donation was from IV. So it was literally just a bag of cells that they brought. And that was that one picture that shows like the doctor with the dry ice. So like they came in with the styrofoam cooler on wheels, and they opened it up, and it was like, you know, crazy experiment. And they brought the cells over, double checked all my information, hooked me up to my IV, and I popped a Jolly Rancher in my mouth because they told me that it tastes bad. So I'm like preparing myself. Well, it doesn't taste bad. It tasted like tomato soup.
Okay.
So they hooked me up to my PICC line. I taste tomato soup. So I'm eating a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher while also tasting tomato soup. It was like Willy Wonka.
Okay,
Interesting.
So by them injecting this into you, you were able to taste.
Yes. So like, you know how like you can taste like the saline, like if you were to get like an IV, or like if you like, sometimes have you ever had an IV before?
Yes, but I don't remember that.
Okay. So like sometimes if they'll put the saline through and you'll taste it. Or like if you get like a certain CAT scan, sometimes like you get that. But like this, my PICC line is obviously goes directly right into my blood, but also went right to my heart too. But like, so everything that went in, the heparin, the blood thinner, everything, I tasted it. So yeah.
That's crazy. That definitely sounds like some Willy Wonka stuff right there.
Yeah.
It really
I
does.
was eating a tomato soup Jolly Rancher, and it lasted, the whole transplant took like 5 minutes, and then they would just check my symptoms, my vitals every like 15 minutes, and then it was game time, just waiting to see if my body rejects it or not.
Now, how nervous were you in that time frame, like waiting to find out?
I was so nervous just because like, so like we took like a 3-4 hour class, my mom and I, about this, like about the transplant, talking about the risks and everything. There are so many risks, like from sore in my mouth to my liver shutting down, like a clump of hair falling out and dry skin, like both could be signs of my body rejecting, like just random stuff. And it's just a please let us know type of thing. So like every little thing that happened, I had to write down everything, still to this day. But so it was so nerve-wracking, like just terrifying, like to think what could happen. What could happen, and if this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do this all over again. Like I've read so many stories of people getting 3-4 transplants and
none of them taking.
No, but like maybe the 5th one does, you know, or whatever. But it's definitely nerve-wracking, and everyone is so different, and because everyone is such a different age and it's just such a different, you know, criteria, it's hard to know how you're going to react. They can't really base it off of much. Like I was saying to you before, like I sometimes felt like a lab rat, you know. Like, oh, what's going to happen if we inject her with this today, but then also inject her with this, you know? Or it was just a bunch of different medications all the time, and still is, but it's just a big question mark.
Yeah. So you said this was the bone marrow transplant. Now, is that the same thing? Because you had mentioned a stem cell transplant.
Yes.
Is this the same deal?
Yeah. So they're the same thing.
Okay.
Stem cell, bone marrow, same thing.
Okay.
They just, you know, they just call it two different
wording. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So, and I know that the stem cell research has been fairly new over the last half decade to a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a while there was a lot of talk about, you know, whether they should be allowed to utilize this or not. But I also saw a lot of good that has been coming from it over the last year or two.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm glad that it's an option.
Yeah, absolutely. And for more than just, you know, leukemia, like autoimmune disorders. And I think that I could help with a lot of things that haven't really, you know, they haven't really tried yet, but it definitely depends on the hospital. Like I know that my oncologist that I saw at Geisinger, because I had to have an oncologist there so I could get my transfusions and stuff. Sometimes I had to get blood transfusions, but he said to me he wouldn't give me the transplant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's still some doctors out there that are against it.
Yes. So he would have just had me doing my chemo and then maintenance phase is what they would call it. And then I would just continue to take that. But at UPenn, they sat down. He said they sat down with they must have like a transplant, you know, I picture this like office where they're like all sitting in like rolly chairs talking about me, but I don't
They're
know.
like sitting around a little round table.
Yeah.
Having this big discussion.
Just a picture of me up on the screen. Like, I don't know. That's just what I picture.
What do you think about this candidate?
Yeah.
Should we give it to her? Should we let her have this? Yeah. No.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, they definitely know what they're doing there for sure.
It sounds like it. Sounds like a good facility.
Yeah. There's a couple changes I would have made as an architect, but you know.
As long as it just changes to the architecture. I mean, maybe you can send them a letter, give them a few notes. They can
maybe
update it a little bit.
Maybe a hook for my towel in the bathroom, or
yes, positive
closet space, because you know, you're there for 30 days when you get your transplant. No matter what, you have to be there, and so, you know, what do you pack?
Yeah.
What do you pack? You're going to stay at a hospital. You're not really going on vacation. I packed a bunch of sweatpants and stuff, but like you still want to feel homey, you know? And it was really hard to do that. But they bring a whole elliptical in your room.
Do they really?
Yes.
Let you get your exercise in. That's good.
Yeah.
I'd feel like a hamster, but that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay in here, you know, like
you don't need to walk around.
Well, so I could walk around, but I had to have gloves, gown, and a mask.
Yeah.
So like I didn't really want to do that.
You know? I feel you.
But when my mom was in there, she would have to have her gown, mask, gloves on as well. So she was like that all day, every day. And then when visiting hours ended at 8, she would pack up all of her stuff and hike to the hotel.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
That had to be a little difficult in and of itself too, is you know, footing the bill for a hotel. Did the hospital help at all with that?
No. So we did have like, you know, there was like, of course there's like these resources, and there wasn't really a lot available to me because I was an adult. There is like a lot for like, you know, children.
Yeah.
But because of the fundraisers that were had for me, and because of just really, really generous people in our community, and specifically Elm Tree really blessed us for my mom staying at the hospital. They really helped foot the bill. Like,
that's amazing.
Honestly, I don't know what we would have done, because my mom was on, you know, she was working from the hospital when she could, but like she could barely work, you know? So like my mom literally like left her job to take care of me. And it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Thank God you had a community behind you.
That's wonderful. I don't know what I would have been alone, I guess, but
that's one of the positives I have about this small community that we live in.
Yes.
Living in this town, knowing the people that you know, they definitely do a good job of getting behind one another when someone's in need. So
yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't imagine having that if you're in a big city. That's why I love the small town feel. I love this area.
Me too. Yeah, no one wouldn't. You're just another person, you know. And yeah, it's good that people really
came through for us too. That they did. The best community, Maggie. Absolutely. So I'm intrigued by the whole stem cell thing, and like you mentioned once already, I think you did so far here. The fact that your blood type has changed because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So my blood type was O positive, and I'm officially 100% donor cells. So I am B positive now. And not that anyone wants my blood. I can't donate anymore. But I am B positive, and I pretty much can rob a bank and have it be the kid in Germany.
Oh, that's good news.
Disclaimer, she would never do that.
No,
But if
I
she
did not.
wanted to, if she wanted to.
No, but
she could get
but
away with it.
seriously, I have his DNA now.
That's
So,
kind of wild to think about.
yep.
That's pretty incredible.
It is. It is crazy. So, next year I will be able to, I think I can send him a letter this year and then he can write back next year. I don't know why they do that. I think it has something to do with like money and stuff. Like people were like, like hassling people, and like I can't know exactly who he is or be in contact with him until the transplant is well and done and over. So eventually I would love to go meet him. I think that would be so cool.
Like a big thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
So
that would be an incredible moment.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he literally saved my life.
Yep.
He saved my life.
So where are you at? Where are you at now with all of this? How are you making out?
So I am kind of picking up the pieces, I feel like, at this point. It's really hard for me to kind of say like I'm in remission, because I feel like the past year of my life, like cancer equals me. Like that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was, and now that like people see that the cancer is gone, they think that everything is okay. And not that everything is not okay, but I'm still really struggling. I just had to get some more skin cancer cut out of my arm. So we did think we got it all out this time, but I do have to do another body check. So, but that's like normal because of how much radiation and chemo I received. My chances of getting some other type of cancer are so high now. Anyone who goes through this, like,
yep.
But so that sucks, always having that in the back of your head, and then just these, I've been dealing with, migraines, but they're like vertigo migraines. So
no.
First they started with like regular, like migraine, dizzy blurriness, but now I get vertigo instead, and I like
lose your balance and everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they think I have some sort of nerve problem, but I have slip discs in my back, but they won't fix it because I can't have surgery because my body can't go through surgery right now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just dealing with a bunch of like random symptoms that they can't really fix or do anything about until I get stronger.
So I think with the not being able to have any kind of surgeries, I think the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if you are cut open for surgery, that contact with the open air can speed up the process for spreading of cancer cells, can it not?
Yeah.
That's
and
like
I can't get my eyebrows waxed, get a tattoo. Like I want a tattoo so bad. And they're like, no, like, because getting those marks on my skin could cause my skin to think, what the hell is going on? And then cause my body to start kicking those cells out again.
Yeah.
It's insane. So there's just like little like things that I've had to like, change obviously about my life and what I can and can't do. But I'm hoping that I get myself back a little bit. I would love to start working again. I would love to be able to kind of wake up and just do what normal people do. But until then, I'm just waking up, and I will take that.
Yes.
I will take that.
You wake up, you enjoy life. You enjoy the little one. You enjoy the family.
I watch my son smile. I eat meals at home and sit on my porch, and that brings me happiness.
Yeah, I think when you've gone through an ordeal like you have, and you've spent that time in a hospital, and you've gone through all of the poking and the probing that goes on in there, when you get to wake up in your own bed and then walk out to your own table in the morning, sit down for a meal, like there's a lot to be said for that. You really start to appreciate the little things more.
Absolutely. I was just talking to my friend about like having control of taking my medicine, because I'll wait till the very last minute in the morning, like when I have to take all my medicines, and she's like, it's because it's the only thing you have control over. And it's like, yeah, like, because I'm just used to like everything just having to be a certain, this, that. And now that I got my PICC line out, and I had a pump on me every day for hours, and like just being able to hop in the shower and just be a normal person is super cool.
Yeah. Oh man, and Maggie, those oral chemo meds, I remember my mother had to take those too. And the cost of those, she showed me what one of those costs once. And thank God she had insurance to cover it. But if you don't have insurance that's going to cover that, holy hell.
Yeah, I was looking at some of my bills and I was like blown away. I can't believe what they charge.
Yep. That's
even
insane.
just regular medications too,
Yeah.
My mom took them. Yeah, the pump sucks. It sucks having anything connected to your body.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right. Is there anything else to this story that you want to let people know about? Any questions you've been asked before that you want to cover?
I definitely wanted to talk about everyone just going to Be the Match and applying to be a donor, and they'll send you a swab in the mail, and you just have to swab your mouth and send it out, and they'll just put it in their system until maybe you get a match. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does, you are doing something completely life-changing, and it's amazing. I really think everyone should do that.
This is a website people can go to?
Yeah, Be the Match.
BeTheMatch.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
And shout out to I did have amazing home health nurses. They were so great. I became so close with all of these people because they were my people every day. They were who I called to, and I couldn't have asked for better care and better love and support from everyone. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been there for me, who's sent me even just positive thoughts, prayers, especially a big thank you to God, because that matters to me, and he's been there for me. And yeah, I don't know if I'm missing anything. I feel like I'm missing everything because I could just keep going on and on.
That's all right. That's all right.
Nurses are angels on earth. That is so true. They really are. Especially
if you get the right crew. I mean, it's easy to think that.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad to see that you were well taken care of while you were there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Alex asked, do you have a link for that? Yeah, it's just bethematch.com. Jared, do you want to type that into chat for everybody so they can go check that website out and sign up?
Bethematch.org. Sorry.
Oh, .org. Bethematch.org. There you go. Perfect. Thank you for that. Awesome. All right. Anything else that we want to hit on before we head out for the night? Anybody in chat have any questions for Allyson before we end the night? Because I thought this was really informative. I thought this was really good.
Hopefully I didn't go off on tangents too much.
I told you before the show, Allie, we're all about that over here.
I know.
We end up off topic more than we are on topic at NDT Podcast. We're good. It's okay. The floor was yours. You could do what you want with it, and we won't get mad. Also, just so you're aware, Allie, when we hop off, when we end the live, we are still backstage for a little bit after the show. If you want to hang out with us, chat a little bit, let us know what you think of the show.
Okay.
Feel free to stay and hang out for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Nicole says, I am so happy for you. Awesome. I think that if telling your story helps one person, it's worth telling. Absolutely. And especially the information that Allie gave to us, the warning signs. Now, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. I know you described what it felt like for you, but while you were in there, while you were doing your research and learning more about the disease itself, is there anything else that comes to mind that people can pay attention to with their own bodies, warning signs aside from the kind of pain that you felt?
So definitely, like, I know everyone is tired and I understand that, but like, if you are feeling like especially drained, like there's a reason for it, and it could be your thyroids or whatever, but like, I know so many, especially men, are just so stubborn about going to the doctor.
Allegedly.
So especially dark circles under the eyes, bruising, like blotching on your skin, those are all signs that something is just not right. And exactly, you have to stay on them, because if you don't, no one will.
Well, let me tell you, it's because we're at a point in life where it's like, that, your job is important. You have bills to pay. And especially as a man, I will tell you, and now she's a stay-at-home mom. So in my mind, I got to push through no matter what it is. Right. And I think a lot of people in general, not just men, I know a lot of people in general get into that mindset because we got to pay the bills. We got to go to work.
What are we going to do?
Make our money.
Yeah.
So if you can push through whatever pain you're dealing with, people tend to try to do that.
Yeah.
But like Allie said, guys, if it gets to that point where it's almost overbearing, there comes a point where it's like, something's wrong. And again, that's another reason we tend to stay away from doctors, is because they tell us that we're wrong if we're feeling a certain way. It's like, oh no, it's just this. It's nothing major. Go in. If they don't tell you what you want, if they don't tell you what you want to hear, go get a second opinion somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And
that's exactly what I did. And like I said, I wouldn't know where I would be if I stayed at Geisinger. And UPenn told me 6 months. That's how I would have been lucky to get another 6 months alive if I did not go to the doctor.
Well, I'm grateful that you did. I'm happy that you did.
Me too.
100%. And you said, you give a lot of thanks to God. And I will say that when we went through our ordeal with our daughter last year, I had never prayed so much in my entire life. I really never did. Like I tell people all the time, I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. It's just like before last year, I'd never thought that it meant anything to pray.
Right.
Because I always thought that I went unheard. But after last year, I definitely do it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And for other people more often than myself.
Something, you gotta.
Absolutely. Well, Allie, I'm glad that you joined us tonight. I'm glad that you got to tell your story. Absolutely. I'm thrilled. I'm happy you were here. And I think everybody else enjoyed hearing your story as well, because it seems like a lot of your loved ones showed up in full force tonight. And I'm very happy for that. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening to Allie's story. Allie, thank you for telling your story tonight. We really appreciate it. And guys, if you know someone who missed this show tonight, please let them know that it is available on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. After the fact, it will stay up. It will always be up. You can send the link to them. We will put it up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, and on many other audio platforms. So it will be available everywhere. Make sure you share it around so you can get Ally's story out. Again, Ally, thank you so much. And everyone, I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. We'll keep you all posted on Facebook as to what's going on with the show. We hope that many of you stick around and hang out for some more content. All right. Until next time, everybody, we will see you all later.